winning it with everything here. So, we're going to be heading to a CE map choice, going to the Dragonshire here. Now, very interesting. We are in the situation of, this is usually last season, this is where CE lost repeatedly to SPT. However, CE this season, starting with a 100% win rate.
Very true. 100% all the way through. CE continues to dominate. And TimeFlow, if it was ever time to show something out of, the secret box, it is now. Because I don't think they can win in a conventional way, but just out rotating or outsmarting CE. I think they're definitely going to have to surprise us, maybe with a cheeky pick. Although we, of course, have yet to see what it is, because we have very little information on Timeless and his team.
What kind of cheeky pick are you thinking here, my friend?
Well, maybe it is time for the infamous Timeless Thrall All Quest.
The Thrall All Quest, possibly a Stitches. You mentioned that Timeless has been a little bit fond of that. We saw him play it on the off-stream game.
Very true, very true. So let's find out what they can maybe pull off. The Genji ban, of course, makes a lot of sense here already. Although, maybe if they wanted to play it a little bit differently, they could have actually picked it themselves, because TimeFlow is first pick after all.
Very true, but this also leaves them open for Hanzo. If Hanzo is let through by CE, question is, do CE value it that high right now? So far, they haven't really needed to, and so far, TimeFlow have not picked Hanzo. They've banned him twice.
Definitely true. Definitely true. So, what are we going to see here? The Hanzo ban. Double Shimada, crossed out here and denied. TimeFlow. Globals are of the essence here on Dragonshire, that's for sure, but so is Greymane. And, you know what? I can't blame him. The Greymane didn't really get that much value done last game because of the heavy block talents, like Earth Ally and the block party. And already ETC back in the mix, joined by Sonya.
Yeah, I was going to try and be psychic and just go Tyrael Sonya or Tyrael Lucio and something like that, but Tyrael has been ignored, and we see ETC along with Sonya. Very team fight heavy style, which does still leave them open for that Tyrael if they wish.
The thing is, on a map like Dragonshire, where you have a slightly longer laning phase compared to Battlefield of Eternity, Sonya is probably a little bit safer because she is the more stable solo laner. After all, she has more wave clear as well. And Tetra, I mean, we wanted to see something secret, something crazy. Instead, it is TimeFlow falling back to the old strengths they have with a Garrosh, probably a Timeless, and 11, of course, on that Zarya.
Both teams actually smiling when those two heroes were picked from both sides. So yeah, TimeFlow's fitting back into their old style here, very much getting the majority of their favorites here. So what is the reaction going to be from CE?
Very true. What can we expect now? The Lucio being put out of the equation. I can't really fault that too much, because Zarya and Lucio together are notoriously strong, right? The additional movement speed for Garrosh is definitely a thing to consider as well. So I don't hate it.
It is interesting though that currently TimeFlow haven't even put any priority on Lucio. They've never picked or banned him. Their only supports they've put any kind of stead in are Malfurion, which they played off stream twice and lost twice. Alex Straza, where they won, and Uther, where they won.
There we go.
Yeah, so although they did lose with Uther last game, so now Uther is on a 50% win rate for them.
They're taking their sweet time as well with the second ban, because they no longer have to worry about Tyrael, which probably could have been a second ban candidate for them for sure, but they go for the Falstad now.
Do they not have to worry? I would argue Tyrael would still be possible. We've seen CE and other teams run a triple tank before.
The thing is, though, you would have to have a better map than Dragonshire, I think. You would probably have to have a very brawly map. Maybe Tomb could work for that, but on Dragonshire, where you have to maintain control over so many different locations at the same time, top, bottom, middle. I'm not sure if a Death Ball works too well.
That's very fair enough, although TimeFlow, they do like their own Death Ball in this scenario with the idea of Garrosh running in with the help of that Zarya speed boost, which is another reason why we did see Lucio banned out. That speed boosted Garrosh was quite effective.
Yeah, of course, Zarya, as you said, has a little bit of ability herself if she goes for speed barrier at level 4, providing an outstanding amount of additional movement speed, especially when Garrosh wants to initiate the team fight. For now,
apparently it wasn't Lucio speed boost, sorry. It was Tyrael where they actually... I don't know what their second speed boost was, because I know they had 2 in their first game. Oh, Alexstrasza, that was it. She got the speed boost on her Era of Effect.
Yeah. If you go for the respective build. Very true.
Yes. That's how they got Garrosh into the backline several times. In their first series, we saw them casted in, and...
Yay!
They got the first Malfurion on stream! Hooray! And the return for the Malphael, so the Mouth.
Can you say that 10 times very quickly?
Well, one's TH, one's F, so it is actually not
it's quite
as
the tongue
hard.
twister,
so
isn't
mouth,
it?
Mouth. It is quite
See?
hard.
There we go.
So, Cassia, a little bit less effective, and the return of the Jaina. But yeah, Cassia might want to be a little more kitey and less upfront auto-attacking due to the Malphael and especially the Malfurion now being in play.
Ooh, this is getting very tricky now for the Cassia, I think, because there are certain heroes that counter her very well, especially those sustained / like quote-unquote poison heroes. I don't think Malphael spits poison with his trait, but he's rather crushing your soul, right? But still,
yeah, it's death over time, as we call it. It's a dot.
Exactly. And if he applies that onto Cassia, her trait is actually not going to save her because it only applies physical armor, and Malphael actually ignores any form of armor. So if Cassia gets too far in, which could happen due to her short attack range, I think TimeFlow could have a surprise ready or two.
Yeah, we might have to see a more spear-based build, potentially some javelins to try and keep Cassia at range.
Very true, very true. However, there is another Jaina in the mix, and Jaina traditionally isn't really too bad against Malphael, because if you slow him down, if you keep him at bay, not even his flank is going to be enough to keep him close to the targets he wants to chase down. So Jaina coming in very strong in general in HGC China. Let's see if another water elemental is going to make it, or whether we're going to see Ring of Frost for the first time. I can't believe I'm saying this.
It seems to be the go-to. Water elemental is the better now, just due to the sheer reliability of it, at least in HGC China.
And look at the Garrosh being played by Timeless. Who else? 11 on that. Zarya. So comfort picks all around for TimeFlow. Is it going to be enough to tie out the series against CE? We're going to find out in a bit. And speaking of CE, we have him here on the left-hand side in the blues once more. We're just going to wait for the introduction here. Alufal on the Cassia this time around. Wind plays his ETC again. KTY on the Jaina, 365 on Rhaegar, and Zuyu is playing his baby girl Sonya.
Whereas on the right-hand side, looking to try and even up the score here, we have a TimeFlow with Timeless on Garrosh, Cat on Greymane, 11 on Zarya, Atui on Malfurion, and F-Show is once again bringing out the Malphael.
Alright, it is TimeFlow's time to make a stand here if they want to remain in the series and get at least 1 point, because for all of you who are new to HGC China or who just tuned in for the first time, it is a best of 2 format. If you play 1-1, you're going to get 1 point. If you win, you get 3, and if you lose, you don't get anything.
Malf continuously preloading heals at the start of the game. Once again, this is new Malf here, so he's continuously preloading heals onto Garrosh here.
Definitely true. Already going for the movement speed at level 1 seems to be the go-to choice for all of the pro players using him. And it basically provides Malfurion with much needed mobility. The more targets are currently benefiting from regrowth, the further or the faster he's going to travel.
Yeah, fastest tree in all the West as he is able. You can see with that little those little speed lines behind him, they're able to do that quite a bit. Whereas 11 going for that pinpoint accuracy, going to try and stack up as many as he can in terms of damage.
Yeah, also a little bit of a variation here in 2018 is the Cassia. She's going for the Q build, which causes her to deal a pretty significant amount of damage if you fully completed it, which gives you another charge. So the more Qs, the more poke, and it also adds a lot more safety to Cassia, because we mentioned the short attack range. If you poke from a safer distance with your Qs, you're not going to get exposed that easily.
Got my talent order the wrong way around, by the way. Demolition's Expert is, of course, the level 1 bomb talent for Zarya. Pinpoint accuracy is the level 7. But yeah, I completely agree with you. Running that spear talent gives you a lot more poke potential and keeps you safer. And if you combine that with the slows or just the cooldown reduction, at the later levels, you can get some really good value out of it, assuming you can get yourself stacked.
And now we see a phenomenon that happened. Oh, never mind. I think Zarya may fall in the bottom lane there. She drops very low. Seems to have gotten another shield off. Yeah, there we go. In the meantime, we see the kill in the top lane. All right.
I mean, sure, if Sho goes down, he just gets killed off there. As we see Wind, he is very this lane, but he's doing it a lot slower than top lane because guess what? It is 3, 2, 1 dead.
Yeah, and also very important to highlight here is the heavy focus on getting night camps early on thanks to that spell armor aura. That is going to protect you so much against Greymane cocktails, for example. Really useful in general. And now it is Wind's time to body block and kill 11 eventually. I think 11 actually gave up. He knew there was nothing he could do to survive.
He's holding in the line, doing as much damage as he can, but he stands in the blizzard and gets absolutely destroyed. So you are most likely right. With CE, the big rotation, having already basically won top lane, they are moving down to get value elsewhere. All they have to do is to hold this altar here so that they don't lose the Dragon Knight overall. And then, guess what? The push they made earlier with that Merc camp, they're going to do round 2.
Exactly, rinse and repeat. They took the top fort with the help of a night camp, and now they immediately trying to mirror this move in the bottom lane. And I think if TimeFlow doesn't react in time, they may actually struggle to defend this. I think they're already too late. Like, the towers are starting to fall.
It's a little bit slower because Jada and Rhaegar did have to be back for mana, so it will be a little slower, and Zarya is here, but they do have everyone here. It's also not a great angle due to the Mage Mercenary having to come through the first tower before it can even get in range, but now they're beginning to move forward through it. Not a huge amount of focus onto that Mage minion. I would prefer if Zarya had been attacking that one instead of the frontliners, but they do kill it off, and their Fountain lives, which is quite the big deal here.
Alright, ETC getting that power slide through. Z65 joins the fray with a slowing totem. He's actually not slowed enough, though, Malthael that is, and gets away to safety because of Fear the Reaper. Fear the Reaper at level 1 allows you to pass through other units and also gives you a much-needed movement speed boost.
So we see this fort will certainly go down in the bot lane as TimeFlow put on the aggression into this lane. Timeless is revealed by a single Frostbolt there coming out from Jaina.
Jaina against Garrosh. The dream of WoW players is happening. Alright, good preemptive roost though, good cleanse as well on the Sonya though.
Yeah, still not a great angle to get yourself caught out in, but thanks to 365, Zuyu is completely fine and able to escape.
Here we go. We saw the Unstoppable coming in for Timeless and also a nice shield to protect him even more. So now heroes are falling, and TimeFlow, as much as they struggled in the early game of the top lane, they actually managed to claw their way back into the game. Not just in terms of experience, but also in terms of map control. They constantly control at least one of the shrines.
Yeah, you also saw the caution there. Nice use of a minion to get the throw slow, and Timeless now throwing Zuyu. There's the root, and this time Zuyu will drop. Very solid play by Timeless. You saw him earlier throw ETC away from his team. This time using a minion as the engage tool to get the slow onto the Cassia there, which baited in the Sonya. Cool to see.
Yeah, it's just an absolute pleasure to behold Timeless on that Garrosh, and how versatile he is with using his abilities. Most importantly, the toss and the stun, of course, respectively. Now, and repeat, we see another night camp being taken over for CE. How much value will they be able to get this time?
Well, there is no fort for them to kill anymore, so they would have to push onto the death bridge if they did want to do anything. Cat is getting absolutely destroyed. Moshpit, just the single Zarya who's got her I am the strongest up, but it's not enough to keep her alive. But that distraction did save Cat.
Yeah, that distraction actually saved other team members, and the interruption for Garrosh was also spot on. No more additional dancing value here for Wind. Really cool trick here we saw by Malthael. He teleported back immediately. He started channeling because the duration is long enough to at least take away control for a shrine. Twilight Dream is big, and 365 is no more.
Absolutely destroyed. 365 taking a very risky rotation. Another good knock up from Garrosh, and they finish off with the cocktail. But now ETC has arrived. Cat is dying to a lethal easy kill with the fend. And even though TimeFlow picked up 2 kills there, they are struggling to keep control of this middle area. But finally, they will be able to guarantee that CE won't be taking this Dragon Knight anytime soon.
The grenade quest for 11 on the Zarya has now been completed. Nice. That means a shorter cooldown and a longer radius there as well.
Malthael needs to hurry up. Valkyrie onto Zarya, pulling her back. And Zarya gets shredded by the Cassia damage. But in that time, we do see the double channel coming in from TimeFlow. So again, preventing CE from taking the objective.
It's almost like whoever controls both shrines is going to get wrecked in the middle. None of the teams has actually been able to secure the Dragon Knight. Even after 7 minutes, both bases look relatively unharmed here. Zarya is about to come back. Of course, the longer the game goes, the longer the death timers are going to be. So the teams can't really afford to lose heroes anymore.
Karosh has to reposition himself a little bit for the delay. Like you said, ETC coming in, throws Zuyu, not the best target when it comes to throwing into your backline, but Timeless stays alive. Malthael forces a retreat out of CE, and that's all they wanted. They wanted to stop the Dragon Knight being taken.
Yeah, good job by TimeFlow, and I gotta say, that protection value by the new Malfurion and the Zarya shields is just outstanding. And of course, Timeless plays the Garrosh so well. He knows exactly when to make himself unstoppable, especially against the heavy CC crowd control composition by CE. So far, not really a lot of Jaina value.
There is a reason that Timeless was banned out away from his Garrosh in the first game. So very cool to see him actually get to play it this time, but also cool to see the Valkyrie already getting value. It's now back off cooldown, so 11 needs to be careful how he positions himself here, or he could be punished here. Here comes Timeless, thinking about engaging from the back, but a little bit too risky. His team was not in position to follow up if he'd managed it.
Yeah, the moment he saw the enemy team, he was like, nope, I'm out of here.
I think the idea was to see if he could pick up a straggler and throw them over the wall into his fort range and have his team kill them, but there were too many enemies there.
The cleanse is huge on ETC because he was definitely caught out of position there. Actually, both teams have been doing a really good job at protecting targets who are a little bit out of position. Malfurion actually went for his own version of cleanse at level 7. So, yeah, whenever he lands a Moonfire on a target affected by regrowth, it's basically a mini cleanse. And it's really useful. It requires a little bit of micromanagement, a little bit of timing, but it's really good.
Yeah, it doesn't work on silences, which is going to be not too important here. There are no silences on the enemy side by Malthael, by the way. But it does remove stuns, roots, slows, etc. So a lot of the important abilities that the enemy is going to be using.
Definitely true. Unfortunately, Malthael was not lucky this time around. He got caught out of position by multiple members of CE, and this could exactly be the momentum they need to pick up the first Dragon Knight. Top Shrine is under control, but TimeFlow is already posturing up in the middle. Let's see if they can stall this out for long enough, because Malthael is back to life.
Timeless moving in, but he's out of range. The Dragon Knight, first one of the game, finally picks up, and then, like you were saying, the Valkyrie, the ice block, but that is delaying the inevitable, and a Tui goes down. Valkyrie, value by Alufal.
And the execution here was immaculate by CE because they needed to keep Malfurion stunned in order to prevent him from using Twilight Dream. The Valkyrie was aimed perfectly, the stuns were even better, so CE once again showing mechanical prowess and timing to the max.
Alufal doing such a good job on this hero, just able to pick these opportunities. Spearing from range, the Javelin will take down this bottom fort as well, while the Dragon Knight holds all of TimeFlow busy in the middle lane.
Yeah, it really goes to show how ice block timing is going to be so crucial for Malfurion. Like, if he gets caught in a Valkyrie like that, he can really use it while being pulled by the Valkyrie, but maybe he could have used it before it actually landed him. But of course, that requires lightning reflexes, and it's much easier to say that as a caster who's sitting comfortably in a chair rather than the player who's actually under so much stress.
I don't even have lightning reflexes picking up my own glass of water, let alone in this kind of situation. That's how good these players are. As we do see the Dragon Knight finally expiring, Zuyu popping out of it. In the meantime, we do see CE with a 2-level lead.
Yeah, they didn't get a keep after all. The Dragon Knight is not yet powerful enough for that. However, they destroyed multiple towers. They also got a fort, and that really resembles itself in the overall XP count. And Icy Veins once again for Jaina coming in here, and I think it's the Numbing Blast for Jaina.
Yep, 16. The root.
Oh, it's the root. There we go.
The standard one that we have been seeing basically every time Jaina has been played recently. None of that armor reduction stuff. Whereas the Cassia going for that grounding bolt, that kiting potential. Hey, Timeless. He is in a little bit of trouble here, but he's able to make it back. And we have Pierce from the Cassia as well. Here comes once again the Valkyrie onto Greymane. Can they finish the job? No, they can't. Cat will live this time, but Timeless, not so lucky. Thievers Malphael, the zoning mosh pit, and the crazy damage output.
Oh no.
Three.
No, Alufo!
Oh! Three kills. 3 kills and the
Zuyu may actually fall there as well if he gets one more keep shot, and there it goes.
Wow,
TimeFlow getting unexpected help here by the greed of CE, and of course the OP keep shots. That turned out much better than it should have for TimeFlow.
Consistent grenades coming in from the Zarya. The fact she stayed alive through the Fender. The Fender got the kill. That might have been different, but either way, mistakes, uncharacteristic mistakes from CE.
Absolutely true. TimeFlow, that was a nice chunk of experience they managed to get out of there. Unexpectedly though, but I guess in a situation like that, you'll take every help you can find.
Exactly. So, Mercam being taken by TimeFlow, finally able to move out of their base a little bit without the worry of getting engaged upon for at least a couple more seconds while Sonya is dead. And as such, their Bruiser camp is taken, and that will relieve some of the pressure they've had on top lane basically all game.
Definitely true. So, CE, it is very important. I think this was a nice wake-up call for them, though, because just like in last game, they got a little bit too far ahead of themselves. They got a little bit too reckless. And while on Infernal Shrines, Battlefield of Eternity, it oftentimes doesn't matter because of how strong the Immortal is. On Dragonshire, if you get too crazily cocky, all the enemy team needs is one late game Dragon Knight to come back bouncing strong.
We see Zuyu moving forward, trying to get 11. Expulsion zone's good. Another Valkyrie finishes off Zarya. Alufo, incredible play here. Timeless staying alive though, tagging through for his team. Ancestral on Zuyu though. Bye-bye Cap, bye-bye Timeless. Alufo has his own little battle down here on the Bridge of Death, but he can't catch up to Sho. But either way, Sho is the last surviving member as CE shred through yet another fight. On the bright side, Malthael finished Black Harvest.
Definitely true. And I gotta highlight the mechanical cleanness of Alufo's combo here. After the Valkyrie, he made sure that he had his blind ready and immediately followed up with the D-explosion here, the Surging Light, providing additional damage onto whoever is getting brought to him. So that was such an incredible amount of damage for Malf to heal. He could really do it. And now with Jaina and the Dragon Knight and 14-15 minutes into the game, this could very well be lights out for TimeFlow if they don't pull off a miracle defense.
They're going to have to put everything up. They have everyone alive, though. They're technically on even talents. They just have to hold here. Expulsion zone is available. ETC getting a good face melt. Here is the mosh pit. Gets interrupted by the expulsion zone. ETC drops down. Down goes Zuyu with Timeless throwing F-Show on top. Alufo in full retreat. This is the one time you do not want to Valkyrie, friend, as he is going to run away here. And TimeFlow, you know the defense you asked them for? They give it and then some.
Alright, CE. I mean, we saw that you are in a commanding lead, but the second time in a throw, they are not going to be able to make it out alive of a core or base attack. So, oh boy. I mean, especially, it's so uncharacteristic for Wind as well, who's probably one of the safest tank players in the league, but him dying so quickly without the Ancestral landing in time was probably the first step to demise.
It's pretty rough. He didn't really have a... I think 365 expected him to live longer, but didn't take into account the touch of death.
Very true.
Which did nerf some of the just regular healing that Rhaegar does give out.
Alright, Storm Tier Talons are here though. We see the Mimicking Water Elemental coming out, which means more damage, more slows all across the board. And of course, ignore Pain here for Sonya at level 20. That's going to allow her to play even more recklessly. However, keep in mind, Tetcher, that the level 20 talent from Sonya is not going to protect against Malthael's trait.
That is very true, but if we counter that, Garrosh is now in serious trouble because Cassia now has Titan's Revenge.
That's a very good point.
Her attacks now ignore armor and her basic attack rate is increased. All that risk she had earlier, pretty much gone. Now anyone can be Cassia's target.
Alright, so TimeFlow, they just need to survive long enough to get level 20 themselves. However, we see another attack inbound by CE. They're also supported by the Night Cam, which gives them magic resistance, spell armor. Can they bring down the keeps? Very much care is needed here, though. They can't afford to lose another 2 or 3 members here anymore.
Even more care needs to be needed by TimeFlow, though. They don't have 20, and ETC has Bolt. If they miss position once, it only takes it's going to take less than a second for Wind to turn this on its head and win the game for CE.
All heroic abilities are ready, with the exception of Wrath of the Berserker. So, Ancestrals are going to be important. The Water Elemental is going to be important. Are they going for another keep? If there's a moment for them to try, it is now, because level 20 is still far away for TimeFlow.
Zuyu, he has that Wrath of the Berserker up, so he's just trying to keep it up. Here comes, once again, another mosh pit with the follow-up of the Valkyrie. Ancestral doesn't land! ETC drops, but guess what? So's the core. That is GG. ETC giving his life for the win there, and that is GG. CE take game number 2 and the full 3 points.
The cow that fed to win, known as the Elite Tauren Chieftain. But guess what? Hashtag worth it. If you take down the core in the process and secure a 2-0 victory for your team, you're gonna die with a smiling face here. And although it wasn't the cleanest of victories, Tetcher, CE still looked dominant, didn't they?
They did indeed. Couple mistakes, couple uncharacteristic mistakes, but overall, they still were able to put on just such a good show in a dominant victory. Well played by CE, and honestly though, TimeFlow definitely better than their first game. We'll definitely